This is really just a pep talk.
President Donald Trump on Capitol Hill trying to rally Republicans around the big, beautiful bill, a budget resolution packed with his domestic priorities, including border money, tax cuts, and defense spending increases. Republicans haven't put up a united front on the bill. Potential Medicaid cuts have been a significant roadblock, along with work requirements for the program that could be phased in within 2 years.
Here's what I want on Medicaid. We're not touching anything. All I want is one thing, 3 words. We don't want any waste, fraud, or abuse. Very simple. Waste, fraud, abuse. Other than that, we're leaving it. Medicare, we're leaving it.
Trump singled out Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie while making it clear how he feels about members of the party who are not on board.
I don't think Thomas Massie understands government. I think he's a grandstander, frankly. He'll probably vote. We don't even talk to him much. I think he should be voted out of office.
Massie has consistently voted no on budget bills he doesn't feel cut enough spending. He's still a no vote on the current bill and spoke about being typically a lone Republican dissenter on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson this past weekend.
He's called me a grandstander again, but this time he didn't qualify as third rate, so I think I'm moving up in the world. But what people know about me is if you attack me, I'm probably going to dig in.
Trump reportedly made a hard sell to the Republican conference, telling different factions of the party to drop their opposition. Democrats have honed in on the potential Medicaid cuts.
I don't think the president has read the bill. He specifically said, don't F around with Medicaid. The bulk of their bill messes around with Medicaid.
House Speaker Mike Johnson previously said he wanted to get something passed by Memorial Day.
I'm going to just end it here and tell you that failure is simply not an option.
We'll find out over the next few days if the president played the role of closer and was able to get the conference aligned. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Trump tried to rally some GOP holdouts and unite the party before a big vote expected this week on the big, beautiful bill. Some fiscal hawks, though, like Congressman Chip Roy, still hoping for a better bill and say they need to see changes before it gets their approval. Right now, the House Rules Committee is still discussing it. And joining us this morning is former White House economic advisor Steve Moore. Good morning, Steve. These lawmakers have been up all night discussing this bill, but you still believe this is going to go to a full House vote either Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, I do, Chad. And by the way, welcome to the sausage making factory. This is how sausage is made, and it's not pretty to look at. But all sorts of deals are being cut at this point. You mentioned my friend Chip Roy. He's trying to hold out for some additional spending cuts in this bill. I think he's going to get some of what he wants.
But you agree, by the way, your organization agrees with what he wants, because I didn't even know this either. Some of the stuff that's in this bill is very important to look at. GOP lawmakers want to add these work requirements for able-bodied adults, but those don't kick in until 2029.
Yeah,
why?
Which is ridiculous. I mean, why? That's a good question. Why? Why are they waiting to do it? They should have been, we should have work requirements for all welfare programs, able-bodied people, not people in wheelchairs or people who are unable to work. And we should have had those yesterday. So there's no reason why it should be phased in by 2029, Donald Trump won't even be president. So that's one of those issues that has to be worked out. I do think they'll move up that. I think they've made a deal to move that date up. There's issues about, remember the Inflation Reduction Act under Biden and the Green New Deal. A lot of Republicans, including myself, want to see that gone. It's a big waste of money, $400 billion. So there's issues like that. And then, of course, there's the issue that Donald Trump talked about yesterday at that press conference that you have 4 or 5 Republicans who want to, increase what's called the SALT deduction. That's the deduction you get for state and local taxes. Right now, that deduction is $10,000. I just got a text literally 5 minutes before I came on your show that they may have a deal to raise it to $40,000, which is a giant increase, and that would be a big, reduction in the taxes paid by millionaires and billionaires in blue states like New York, New Jersey, and California. I personally think that's way too high. I don't think there's any reason people should be able to deduct their state and local taxes off their federal tax. All that does is encourage states and localities to raise their taxes. But again, you've got 4 or 5 Northeastern Republicans, Jan, who are holding out, and the bill can't be passed without them because, remember, not a single Democrat will vote for this bill.
Correct.
And I gotta, every week on your show, I remind you, if they don't get this done by December 31st, we're facing the biggest tax increase in American history. So failure is not an option here.
We've been talking about this for a long time. Is there a possibility, though, they could take the, extending the 2017 Trump tax cuts to codify those and separate those away from this bill? Is that a possibility?
Well, really, the bill pretty much just, if you look at that bill, mainly what it does is just extend that, make sure that the tax cuts that we passed in 2017 don't expire. Now, there are other features to this. Remember the no tax on tips? That's included in the bill, and some of the issues like no tax on overtime. But mostly what this really does is just make sure that at the beginning of next year, there is no giant tax increase. And that's something I was just looking at the polling. I mean, most Americans are very much in favor of making sure. I mean, the average family would face a $2,500 increase in their taxes next year. That would be a financial blow.
That would be outrageous. But again, I just want to reiterate, you do believe this is going to go. What you're hearing right now.
I do. I'm going to
vote.
predict on your show, I think we're going to get a vote on Friday. Because look, they want to go home. There's nothing that gets these guys moving more than a vacation. So this is Memorial Day weekend. I think they want to go home. They want to have it signed, out of the House. And then, of course, then we have to go through this all again, Jan, in the Senate.
All right, we shall see. But you heard it here first. You think it's going to be done before the Memorial Day weekend. Former White House Economic Advisor Steve Moore. Great to see you, sir. Hope you have a great weekend yourself. Thanks for joining us.
You too.